UFC 318 recap. Let's get into it. It doesn't look like Michael Johnson is done. Michael Johnson couldn't have fought a better fight. And to do what he did against a young buck like Daniel Zellhuber speaks volume. So the question now is, what's next for Michael Johnson? Next up, we have Dan Ige and Patrício Pitbull. And that night, Patrício Pitbull was just a better fighter. This was one of those fights where I feel like Patrício Pitbull had to show out and he had to prove himself because he didn't want to be that guy that came out from a different league to be in the UFC and then did terrible. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. Yo, this fight was a banger. I cannot believe that they did not get fight of the night, because in my opinion, this was the greatest fight of the night. I was on my feet the whole time. I really want to see if Kevin Holland is going to break the record for the most fights in a year, because I believe the most fights in a year is 5. And I heard that Kevin wants to have 6 fights this year. So let's see if it happens. Paulo Costa and Roman Kopylov. Oh my gosh, yo, Roman is no slouch. And for Paulo Costa to go in there and do that to a guy like Roman Kopylov, wow, mind blown. I don't even know what to say. Who do you give Paulo Costa next? The only thing with Paulo Costa is he doesn't fight enough. I think he's a great fighter, but he just doesn't fight enough. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. Let's get into it. I think this might be Max Holloway's new weight class. You know, sometimes whenever fighters go up, they look slower. They look almost stuck in the mud, like Connor would say, but not Max Holloway. He looked just as fast, just as durable, and even more powerful. He even knocked down Dustin Poirier, and hats off to Dustin the Diamond, man, because I grew up watching Dustin Poirier. I will forever be a Diamond fan. This division is so crazy because you got guys like Ilya, Arman Tsarukyan, Max Holloway, you got Justin Gaethje, you got Paddy Pimblett. So who does Max Holloway fight next? That is the big question, because I would love to see maybe a Max Holloway, Paddy Pimblett. Maybe a Max Holloway, Arman Tsarukyan. You know, there's so many ways the UFC can go about this. Either way, Max is just getting started and he looks incredible. For Max Holloway to go in there and do that to Dustin Poirier, it just shows you the levels, right? Now, here's my question. How good is Ilya Topuria to go in there and do that against a Max Holloway who did what he just did against Dustin Poirier?